Hello again, welcome back to another Star Citizen project update. As usual, we start with characters, and the animation team's been working on one of your mission givers, Battaglia. Here we see a few mission-based lines and their corresponding animations being tested.
Unfortunately, things are a bit slow right now. I'll keep you in mind if anything turns up though.
Moving on to gameplay, progress continues on mining as developers test the animations for the Prospector's boom arm. Textures have also been completed for the rig and will soon be combined with animation to create the finished asset. Here we see mining in action. The rig still has some bugs at the moment and the laser is still using old visuals, but this process is coming along nicely from a gameplay perspective. The UI visuals are also being tweaked and improved. As you can see here, it's a noted improvement over earlier versions. The devs have also been working on coding the resource dispersion for each planet and the ecosystem within it. You can see in these debug renderings that each ecosystem is divided into separate cells with specific perimeters on what resources can spawn there and in what quantity. The VFX team continues to take design notes into account while trying different approaches to scanning. The version that we see here was deemed too busy, so was updated. The constant test and feedback process means that the scanning effects are changing nearly every day, and will do so until the team all agree on something that really suits the gameplay. Here is the latest version that uses a ping wave to highlight important things in front of the player. The ship's particle emitter can widen or focus the wave depending on the player's needs. Work continues on AI improvements and mission design for the PU. There are still some tweaks to be made regarding how enemies engage the player, but we've made major strides with combat AI and getting these types of missions working well in the PU. The mission team continues to place enemy AI into new scenarios to help draw out remaining bugs. Here you can see this AI in a derelict Starfarer, which made for a very exciting combat arena. The new scramble races are in their balancing phase. In this video, the designers are testing potentially unbalanced scenarios as they race the fastest ships in the game against the most heavily armed. This mission type is shaping up to be an intense and exciting combination of dogfighting and racing. The ship teams have just completed landing gear animations for the Vandal Blade. They're also wrapping up final art on the Anvil Hurricane, as well as readjusting the landing gear to accommodate compression and enter-exit animations. And they're looking ahead to future releases, with work continuing on the Mustang revamp as well as the RSI Constellation Phoenix. Here we get a tour of this huge party-centric touring ship's in-progress interior. The props team are currently turning out signage for use at rest stops and other locations throughout the PU. Here we see a white box rendering of the racing buoy that will be used in those scramble races we saw earlier. Work on the rest stops continues, and even though the signage and some of the other graphics are still work in progress, you can see they are really coming together, with different procedurally generated layouts, each having distinct personality and obvious diversity. Hangars are entering the final art phase, and we can see all the elements coming together to create the feel we're aiming for with these spaces. Over on Hurston, work continues on nailing down the look of the Savanna biome. We're looking at how different assets appear in different lighting conditions to make sure they look natural and in keeping with the wild and prehistoric feel of the planet. The tundra biome is the next to be tackled, with concepts and early visuals being developed at the moment. And finally, we see very early renders of Hurston's mining pits. The entire planet has been strip mined to hell, but there are still plenty of areas that players can scour for remaining resources. Improvements to planet tech are always being worked on, and here we see progress made on procedural shading that will achieve more colour variety in scattered assets like rocks and planets. That's all for us this week. See you next time for more updates on PU progress. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ricky. You can